What's up, guys? This is Jim City Digimon. Today I'm bringing you a deck profile for Blackboard Greymon. I know I do a lot of Blackboard Greymon deck profiles. That's mainly because I'm a big Blackboard Greymon player. And I've been trying this out and it seems to have a pretty good success rate. The only matches that seem to be a problem are, well, it was before the ban list of Biosmon. And Machine can be kind of a problem if they get up and going. But I've made this deck pretty consistent. We have a pretty good matchup against Hunters. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're just going to do the eggs first. We're playing 4 of the bt12 Horomon to give you the draw 1. We're not going into a lot of the DP boost in this. We're just going for added consistency as possible. If you want, you can go 4 of the Horomon from BT9 to give you that 1k DP. But we are just going for the added draws. I feel like this is a better option, so to say, because when you attack, you can draw 1. You're just going to be seeing your cards a lot sooner. We're actually going to go a little bit backwards. We're going for option cards of one red memory boost. For 3 costs, reveal 4 cards, add 1 red card from this whatever you have, and it has a delay effect of gaining 2 memory, so it's just a nice little added consistency card and to give you a little extra memory to kind of play with. For the other options, we were playing 2 of the Hades Force. This is just a really good card. It allows you to control the field more. For a 7 cost, but it becomes 5 if you have an X antibody option card underneath one of your Digimon. Delete any number of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers equal to the play cost of one of your Digimon with Greymon as name, and then that Digimon can attack. Or one of your Digimon with Greymon can attack. It's got a security effect to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. The security effect is not that great because if they attack with the highest DP or their highest play Digimon, you're just going to delete it and it's going to leave the smaller bodies. But normally a lot of players just go with the smaller bodies first to leave the bigger bodies to go for the game. But every once in a while you'll come across the person that does the complete opposite. For the other options, we are playing 3 X antibodies. We want to see this card as much as possible. You can place it underneath one of your Digimon that doesn't have this X antibody option card underneath it. You can play it without meeting the color requirements, and has a security effect of gain 1 at the hand. This is really nice if your opponent swings at 0 memory, and as soon as it's checked, it ends their turn. It passes over to 3 or 1 or whatever you have. And it has an alternative effect. It can't be trashed, and when you attack, you can digivolve one of your Digimon into an X antibody by paying the evolution cost. So this kind of comes up like more towards your early aggression or possible late game, depending on what you have. But we want to see this as soon as possible. And I just feel like 2 is too little and 4 is too much, so 3 seems to be the perfect balance for me. Tamers, we're playing Cool Boys. We're not playing them as much now, but we are only just playing the 2. At this point, we all should know what it does. For 2 costs, reveal 3 cards, add 1 Digimon with X antibody and its traits, and 1 option card with X antibody and its traits. So it can grab you your X antibody option card. And as soon as you play it, you can get almost instant value out of it by evolving it. Say, like, if you push up an Agumon and they give you 2 memory, you can play this. Hey, look, you grab your Agumon X antibody and possible an option card. Evolve over to Agumon, you tap this, you get the 1 memory back, so it's instant value. And you get a draw 1, search 3, hey, and you grab 2 other cards. As long as you're hitting another X antibody. So it is a facilitator for a lot of your plays, but we're not playing it as much right now because I feel like this card, the Tai Kamiya, is just a much needed card. Sort of your main phase on play, one of your Digimon with a Greymon or Agumon in his name, gain 1k DP and blocker till the end of your opponent's turn. So this is great for kind of memory or DP boosting, and making your higher stacks into blockers, or your smaller bodies into blockers to prevent your opponent from attacking your security. So it's really good. And it's got the Nokia effect of when one of your Digimon Digivolve into a Greymon or Omnimon in its name, suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. Instead of reducing play costs, you are gaining the 1 memory. So this makes your evolution and your climbing up into your chain a little bit cheaper, a little bit more manageable. In the past, I played Nokia, but with this new tie, it just feels so much better. We are playing 2 of the Yuya Kuga. It is your memory setter, and when you Digivolve into a Digimon with Greymon's name, you can gain 2 KDP until you end its opponent's turn, which is really good. But we are going for the protection effect. So if you Digivolve into a Digimon with Greymon's name of the same level, you can prevent options from your opponent's... It's not affected by option cards until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's great for some nice added protection. Unfortunately, against Hunters, Arrestramon still tucks it, but we're not too worried about it now. Level 6s, we're playing 1 of the Black War Greymon X Antibody. Has a natural reboot, evolves over your Black War Greymon for a 2 cost, and on opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon with the highest DP attacks, you can switch the target. And a secondary effect, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, if it has Black War or X Antibody in its traits, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So it doesn't even matter if this card remains unsuspended. As soon as they unsuspend during the unsuspend phase, you can pop something, kind of get a little bit more control on the field. But we're only just playing 1. I feel like it's not a great card right now. It may change up in the future, but we're opting more for the 2 Gaiomons. This is your aggression card. This is what we use to kind of try to close out game. It evolves over your Black War Greymon for a 2 cost. It's also treated as having a Greymon in name. And it has a natural security attack +1 and reboot. And it has a nice little Wind-Digivolve effect, which is really great against Quartzmon. De-Digivolve if you have Black Source underneath, and Blitz if you have red. So you're always going to have a black and red, so you can swing, you can Blitz, De-Digivolve their Digimon, swing at whatever's in stack. I would mainly go towards, I would say towards a Quartzmon stack, but if you have the Hades Force in hand and a Black War Greymon field, you can Hades Force, swing, De-Digivolve, and still get something off the field, which is really nice. But honestly, I feel like you could probably swap out this for the regular War Greymon, the Raid War Greymon. I feel like War Greymon, the BT12 War Greymon is just a little bit better for Digimon control instead of Tamer. This is trying to do the best of both those worlds. And for the last level 6s, we're playing 3 Black War Greymon. Black War Greymon likes to give old men and children these hands, because we do not want our opponents to have Tamers, especially in a Hunter matchup, and trying to control the board is just so good. It's really good when you give the Black War Greymon blocker and 1 KDP during your opponent's turn with the tie, because now they have a 13k body, possibly going up to 15 or possibly 17 or 18 really. Essentially you can get up to like I think 20k, where if you have the board set up but you have your 2 Yuyas and your 2 ties, it can get into a really big blocker that can block twice. If you have the Black War Greymon X Antibody on field, it just becomes even more disgusting. Your opponent has to have so many outs to try to get rid of it. But that's why we go with 3 of them. Plus, it makes going into these a little bit cheaper instead of paying the hard 5 costs. Granted, you do have the tie to reduce it by 1. So we're just trying to make everything as cheap as possible. Level 5s, we are playing 3 of the Metal Greymon X Antibody from BT11. Digivolves over your Metal Greymon for 1. And when Digivolving, it can't have its DP reduced or de-Digivolve. And if you have a Metal Greymon or X Antibody underneath it, and its Digivolution sources, you can pop something 6k or less. And it has the best inheritable effect in this deck of being able to burn a card from the top of your opponent's security if something unsuspends. So, and it's only during your opponent's turn. So you can essentially get a free check and put them on the back foot as soon as you hit down for 4 security unsuspend, something unsuspends, disactivates, and they're now at 0. So as soon as you have something in the back that moves up and they don't have anything with blocker, and you have plenty of ways to remove whatever they have to prevent you from going for game, like your Hades Force, go into a Greymon, and if their Digimon is, 5k, 4k, or whatever, or sorry, 5 or 4 costs, you can just run over it with Hades Force and swing for game. So we have a little way around being able to go for game. For the other level 5s, we're playing 2 of the Metal Greymon from BT12. Evolves over your Greymon in name, level 4 Greymon in name for 3 costs. It is a red-black Digimon, so you are going to be searching with your red memory boost. Everything in here is a combination of red, so red memory boost is going to be hitting everything. It has a nice effect of raid, an all turns effect. When an attack is switched, you may play a black or red tamer with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying memory costs. So you can, we have a nice little play here. And this is especially well set for War Greymon for BT12. You can swing raid, play the Yuya for free. And if you have an X antibody underneath it, you can use Metal Greymon to, the X antibody to go into your Guilemon or your Black War Greymon X antibody, or go into Metal Greymon X antibody, and then go into your, say, your Guilemon or Black War Greymon X antibody after that, and get the protection effect from Yuya. Then you get the reboot, so you get, I think, you can check for 2 security checks, and then unsuspend, that burns a 3rd, and now they're sitting there looking down at 3 security check, and you have something in the back. So there's nice little combos in this deck. The more you think about it, and it has a your turn's effect of when this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, it gains piercing. So even if they block, you're still going to be checking security. Unfortunately, with piercing, it doesn't check security for gain if they have no security. So that's where the Hades Force comes in. For the other level 5s, we're playing 3 of the Metal Greymon from BT8. This card is still really strong in its format. When Digivolving, it is a 4 cost, so you're going to be paying a lot. Hopefully we have the tie down and we have a Cool Boy down, so it makes it a little bit more manageable. If you went into, say, your Greymon X antibody from BT11, it becomes a 2 cost. You use the Cool Boy on it, you have a tie, it becomes a, you're still sitting at 1 memory after it's all said and done. But it also has it de-digivolves one of your opponent's Digimon and deletes something 3k or less. This card has been so good against the Hunters matchup when they play down the Quartzmon, because I try to keep something in the back if I anticipate a Quartzmon coming out. And with that deck, you've got to be able to predict it. Predict it very well, because the moment they pull it out and you don't have anything back, they kind of start going for game really quick. So you can de-digivolve the Quartzmon and still have a way to kind of do stuff. And it has a nice inheritable effect of if it has Dragonkin or Machine in its traits, you can attack your opponent's Digimon that are unsuspended. So this kind of gives a pseudo raid in a way, but you can choose your targets. The way I like to do it is try to get a Digimon with a Greymon with some pretty big DP, have the Metal Greymon and evolve into the Black War Greymon, and then swing over something, then swing at possible security, go into the Guilemon or the Black War Greymon X antibody, and have something where I'm checking more security, but I'm also getting to reboot to burn another security. A nice combo would be, say we have this and we have the X antibody underneath, and we're able to keep a 3 with the tie. We have another 1k DP. We have a security attack Greymon, which we'll get to. Swing at there's Digimon, delete a Digimon on the board, unsuspend because of the alternate effect once per turn. Swing at security for 2 checks, have the X antibody underneath, go into your Guilemon, hey, that's now 3 checks. You de-digivolve something, you're still keeping turn. you play something else out, it unsuspend. Hey, that's the you pretty much burn all. I think you burn through the entire security stack at that point, or most of it. So it can be really aggressive, but also really controlling. For level 4s, we're playing one of the Greymon X antibody from BT11. Evolves your Greymon for 0 cost, and when this Digimon would digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, reduce cost by 1 for each of those colors, of the Digimon's colors. So you can go into your Metal Greymon for 2, or your Metal Greymon from BT12 for 1 cost. So it makes it super memory efficient. Sadly, this card is hit to 1, so we only played at 1. I wish we could play more. Get rid of the cool boys, give me back Greymon X antibody, and we're perfect. But it also has all turns effect when a Digimon or Omnimon would be removed from play via destruction by card effect or bounce to hand or deck. You remove an X antibody from it that's in its Digivolution sources and put it on the bottom of your deck and prevent that Digimon from leaving. So it's a nice little prevention effect. It makes it a little bit easier if you just go into this over an Agumon instead of over a Greymon. But more times than not, we're going over a Greymon for this. For the other X antibodies, we're just playing 3 of the BT9. We should all know what it does at this point. It's the same thing as this card, except for instead of removing the X antibody option card, we're removing 2 cards at the same level. So we can have multiple protections from this card, or with this card. So instead of saying, if we have the perfect stack of 2 Agumons, 2 Greymons, 2 Metal Greymons, and then we have a Black War Greymon, we have 2 protections there. No, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 3 protections. And that just makes it even more difficult for your opponent to get rid of. Which, if it wasn't for this inheritable, or for this your turn Digivolving effect, this card would be more preferred. But this just makes it a little bit easier to protect. For the other ones, we are playing 1 Greymon from BT5. Essentially you can make it into a 1-cost evolution. If this Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution cards, and it has to be Agumon by name, not Agumon X antibody, you gain 1 memory. So it just makes it cheaper. It has a your turn's effect. Your Digimon with Omnimon or Greymon in its name gain 2 KDP, so that makes your bigger bodies a little bit bigger. And that's why we play. We played at 1. I would like to change it out for something else, but I feel like the 1 KDP or the 2 KDP may come up sometimes, so we just keep it at 1. For the others, we are playing 2 of the Greymon from BT12. This is essentially just to play the ties that we have in my hand, but mostly because we get the 1 KDP for all turns. So you make it into a 3K during your opponent's turn, a 13K, or this becomes a 14K, same with your Greymon X antibody, or your Black War Greymon X antibody. So we're just making our defensive plays a little bit beefier. But again, that's pretty much why we play. The Wind Digivolving effect is if you don't have a tie on field, you can play a Tai Kamiya without paying play cost. So it just makes things a little more combo wombo. For the other ones, we are playing 3 of the starter deck 1 Greymon for the Security Attack +1. It is a 2-cost, 5 to play, 4 KDP. So the 4 KDP comes up a lot. We wish it was a little bit bigger, but we mainly just go into this for the Security Attack to get extra chips in, and then burn with Metal Greymon. We're playing 2 of the BT12 Agumon. We can switch this up to 4 over the BT5 Agumons, but for now we're just playing it as a 2 of. Reveal 4 cards, add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 Tamer with Tai Kamiya in its name. I think that's the reason I'm just playing it as a 2 of. I think also because I only have 2 available for this deck. And place the rest on the bottom, and it has all turns of give your Digimon, Greymon, or Omnimon in its name plus 1 KDP. So it makes this into a 14K, this into a 15K, and same with Black War Greymon X antibody. So just makes the defensive plays a little bit better. For the others, we were playing 4 of the Agumon from BT5. Reveals 3 cards, add 1 Greymon and Omnimon. That's why I think if I had more of these available for this deck, I would replace it to where it's only 2 of these, but 4 of these. So it just searches for your Greymons. We're not playing any Omnimons, so it has no good inheritable effect. At this point, I would say if you have these, only run these as a 2 of. It's still nice for extra searching. For the other level 4s, or sorry, level 3s, we're playing 4 of the Best Boy. Agumon X Antibody. Reveal 3 cards, grab 1 Omnimon or Greymon and 1 X Antibody option card from among them. It's searching for the X Antibody option card of this name, not anything that has X Antibody and its name. It's great for hard playing, say, your Agumons from here, and then get an additional 3 search. You get the Evolve, if you have the Cool Boy, another draw, game 1. So you're just digging further into your deck. We're making this thing, as like I said, we're making this as most consistent as possible. And for the last level 3s, we're playing 4 of the promo Agumon. Your turn, if this Digimon has Greymon his name against 2 KDP, great for just making your bodies bigger so you can swing over stuff. But that is the deck profile. So far, it's been pretty consistent. The mulligan mechanic just makes the deck so much better. If you are interested in these oversleeves, I will link the place where I bought them at in the channel, in the description. I would highly recommend it. After getting these, I'm never going to play with these in a tournament at all, because these are just absolutely gorgeous. But let me know what you guys think.